this very special occasion. JBANK, the Joint Baltic-American National Committee, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Started in 1961, comprising of 3 national associations representing American Latvians, Estonians, and Lithuanians. JBANK has focused on promotion of the Baltic interests in the United States. It is of essence that these interests were survival of our nations and regaining of our states, a daring and ambitious task. It took decades and continuous effort. One of the crucial tasks was raising and keeping at a high level awareness about the fate of our countries in the United States. Without success in this field, none of the further efforts would have been successful. JBANK also played a key role in unifying the Baltic Freedom Accord. This organization ensured that the Baltic Americans, as a political force, could punch well above their weight. Of course, it meant also participating in protest actions and coordinating political work. Perseverance proved to be another deciding factor. The patriots at JBANK relied on the enthusiasm and belief in liberty for our countries for long years. I want to thank all American Estonians, Latvians, and Lithuanians for their devotion and effort throughout 50 years of action. I would like to use this occasion to express my deepest appreciation to the United States for the non-aggression policy. Provided a significant boost not only during our fight for independence, but also greatly helped in ascertaining the legal status of succession of our statehoods. It was not until 20 years ago that Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania regained their independence. At that time, JBANK was helping the newly re-established states to reassert themselves in the fast-changing international environment. However, it was obvious the primary goals of the organization have been achieved. The Baltic countries were free. I would like to outline what I see as the greatest successes of JBANK during the last 2 decades. This time was to a certain extent even more challenging because of its uncertainty. Still, JBANK found its role and proved to be extremely effective at fulfilling its new mission, assisting development of the newly re-established Baltic countries. Firstly, JBANK was instrumental for giving Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania a voice in the United Nations. During the early days of independence, our representation to the international society and anchoring into the international system of states was greatly helped by JBANK activists. Some of these people are here attending today's conference. I would like to use this occasion to thank you for the crucial service you have rendered to our cause. Secondly, JBANK was instrumental in gathering support for NATO expansion in the political circles of Washington. We never doubted that our accession to the alliance would increase security in the transatlantic area. Time proved us right. However, when the enlargement debate was started in Washington, it was not the only obvious choice. It was our hard work that made the difference, especially demonstrated in the Baltic Battalion, the Baltic Naval Squadron, and the Baltic Defense College, and other common Baltic projects. We were serious about our cooperation and effective at that. But it was also the hard work done by you to make these successes known to the right people in Washington and elsewhere. Thirdly, and most recently, JBANK and the Baltic community as a whole grew to be of essence in providing that Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania are mature for the visa waiver program. It has been a couple of years already since the decision was taken, and it has proved to be the right one. You see how many right decisions we have made. Judging at the accumulated success of JBank has made more successful years in the future than a half a century that had passed. I'm certain that JBank will be crucial in supporting further deepening of relationship between the Baltic countries and the United States. Before I turn to common future tasks, I would like to outline the recent example of a successful policy by the United States once again have contributed to positive developments in my country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to have a transatlantic approach to such issues as relations with the Russian Federation. The recent policy that the President Obama's administration has pursued with Russia has yielded positive results in the region. Not only in the area of arms control, even though that is the most visible outcome of these efforts. Reset policy has had an enabling effect also on the way Russia is prepared to deal with other European countries. I would like to use Latvian case to explain these developments more thoroughly. During the year 2010, Latvia has achieved significant breakthrough in developing good neighborly relations with Russia, based on mutual advantage and mutual respect. It's not a secret that for a long time our bilateral relations with Russia were distorted by mutual suspicion. While there are still issues we see differently and policies we cannot agree on, we have started a proper political dialogue at the highest political level. We were able to move forward in a number of long overdue agreements between our countries. These agreements and business forums that took place as a part of my visit to Moscow last December opened new venues also for economic cooperation. The visit was an opportunity to ease some of the tensions which relate to the issues that have traditionally been difficult to discuss with Russia. For example, history of the 20th century. President Medvedev and I agreed on launching a joint commission of historians to study the difficult aspects of the history of our two neighboring countries. There are basic historic facts that are indisputable, such as the occupation of Baltic states in the year 1940. We will never retract from that. I see the main goal of the Commission is in studying Stalin's crimes against the people of Latvia. That's possible only with full access to archives in Russia. This is an issue that I discussed with President Medvedev, and I'm glad that President Medvedev recognizes this need. I'm sure that step by step, we can enhance mutual trust between Latvia and Russia to the benefit of our two nations, and also to the Europe as a whole. Continued dialogue with Russia will be essential to realize the potential created in 2010. I consider the official visit of December as a first step forward to confidence building and towards a more fruitful relationship. Continuing the positive impetus of the visit will be the real test of sustainability of these efforts. We have to keep on working on the list of bilateral agreements. We have to maintain the intensity of the political dialogue, and we have to keep on discussing the issues with both sides that they found difficult. Latvia is ready to be an active and constructive partner in the European Union-Russia and as well as NATO-Russia dialogue and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to turn to the main areas of current cooperation and future tasks of our countries to make the transatlantic cooperation even more rewarding. I would like to talk about security cooperation, economic cooperation, and promoting mutual awarenesses. The Baltic states and the United States are strategic partners and allies. These words have a very practical meaning. In the NATO Lisbon Summit, we adopted several documents. The new NATO strategic concept among them. In this document, allies strongly reassert the principle of collective defense. Now we have to work on implementation of decisions of the summit. I'm certain that there are further opportunities for cooperation in areas areas of planning and training. For the first time, the Baltic states had their representative among the few who were chosen to assist Madame Albright in working out the draft document. This person is well known to the JPAC. It's our former ambassador to the United States, now also a former foreign minister of Latvia, Mr. Airis Rodas. This fact has much more than a symbolic significance. It means that our views were represented, and we are glad to see the result of this work. Despite the budgetary hardship, we are steadfast in our determination to contribute to the mission in Afghanistan. However, Latvia contributes to ISAF not only by military means. The port of Riga is the leading transit point for the transport of U.S. non-military cargoes to Afghanistan through a logistic network known as the Northeast Division Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Latvia's largest trade and investment partners are Lithuania and Estonia. Next come some other European countries. 70% of our trade is within the EU. We cannot be proud that the Baltic market is quite integrated. We can be proud, that the Baltic market is quite integrated. It is only natural that outside the Baltic states, we mainly trade with our regional partners within the European Union, with which we have a common market, common rules, and common visa space. What about strategic partner, the United States? I have to admit that the trade turnover between Latvia and the U.S. is clearly insufficient. Such a situation has long-reaching strategic implications. Our mind often is where our money is. We all know that. And it clearly seems that there is this disaccord between the strategic security partnership and the transatlantic economic exposure. Yesterday, I and Vice President Biden agreed that we have to activate work of attracting American investments in the Baltic region. I believe there are actions that we can take to elevate the situation, actions that are to be the benefit of the Baltic countries and to the benefit of the United States. Particular area of interest should be energy. Energy security, diversification of energy supply routes and sources, clean energy technologies should be the main focus areas for cooperation between our countries. And I would like to mention a few examples. Diversification of energy market is one of the priorities of Latvia. Cooperation between our countries on energy diversification can bring significant added value. One such example is the Visagina nuclear power plant project in Lithuania, on which the three Baltic countries and Poland is working together. Cross-border cooperation is crucial not only because we have the same electricity market, but also because it would be a cost-effective way to create an independent source of electricity generation-based capacity. The unfortunate accident in the Fukushima nuclear power plant will leave a mark in the impressions about the safety of nuclear power as such. We need a cool-headed debate of the risks and benefits of nuclear power in our region. We need not to create scare, but we have to be prudent. In the Baltic area, there is a need for a more diversified gas market as well. Latvia has proposed to build a regional liquefied natural gas terminal that could act as an alternative supplier to the Baltic states. Any such project is considerably better evaluated economically if it's regional. Individually, we are not large players in energy markets. Therefore, it makes sense to move towards economies of scale through regional consolidation of our efforts. That's very important at that present time. The longer-term approach to gas diversification is exploring shale gas deposits in Latvia, and as well as Baltics as a region. There are cooperation possibilities between Latin American companies in implementation of both of these projects. Energy is not the only field where positive result from interaction of our business companies could be expected. On this visit, I'm talking with several U.S. companies. There seems to be a significant interest in working with Latvia and the Baltic countries in general. It would help if size and capacities of the business enterprises in Riga, Tallinn, or Vilnius would be sufficient to arouse business interest. I believe this challenge can be met by consolidation of businesses to achieve scale if there is significant interest from the companies from the US. Ladies and gentlemen, another area where I see the need for continuous work is keeping a high level of mutual awareness between the strategic partners in people-to-people contacts. We have to know more about each other. Mutual awareness is crucial in maintaining our partnership in good shape. Therefore, I'm especially glad about the launching of the Baltic American Freedom Foundation that provides scholarships and internships to students and professionals for studies in the United States. We have to keep up also the good work of explaining ourselves to the American population, an effort that has been superbly done and is continued by JPEG. You are the best envoys of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania to the United States because you are here every day, because you meet with your friends, your colleagues every day, because you tell them about our countries and their achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, there is a role for JPEG to play in all three of these areas: security cooperation, economic cooperation, and awareness promotion. JPEG may have achieved its primary mission 20 years ago, but its significance is still undisputed. JPEG embodies the strengths of the Baltic approach to Baltic unity. This is and should be the driving principle of success. I have always closely consulted with my Estonian and Lithuanian colleagues. The same is true for all levels of governmental and non-governmental cooperation. United, we are strong. Thank you for everything you have achieved. Thank you for your attention today. And thank you for you to be devoted